Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for joining me on my top 5 houseplants of September, because September is my favorite month of the year. Not only is it my birth month, but the weather is getting cooler. I think this morning it was about 78, and I did a little plant shopping, and it was just so nice to be able to plant shop in the nice cool weather, and I just love September. And I would like to welcome all my new subscribers and welcome back all my returning subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Now let's get started with my top 5 houseplants of the month. So the first plant I'm going to show you is my Variegated Maranta, and I've just been loving this little plant this month. This is a plant that I picked up at the grocery store in either July or August, and I believe it was around $11.99. It came with this really cute little pot, and I thought it was just a cute little plant. I absolutely love the variegation on the leaves. Some of the leaves have a mottled variegation, while others have more of the blocked variegation. So I've just been watching this plant as it grows. It's just such a cute little plant, and it does grow pretty quick for me. It has a lot of new growth, and I've just been loving this plant. So it does sit close to my south-facing window. It sits grouped together with 3 other plants. I do water this plant about twice a week just because it is a Maranta and it's in a very small pot. But it's been doing good so far, and I've really been enjoying it. I have not fertilized this plant yet, but I should do that pretty soon here because it is growing a lot of new leaves for me. And I just love this plant. It's just such a beautiful plant. I love that it has white variegation and also this creamy yellow variegation, and then as well it has the mottled variegation. So it's just really cute. I just love this plant, and it is one of my favorites here on my top 5 houseplants of September. Second plant I'm going to show you is my neon pothos, and I have just been loving this plant. I've cut this plant multiple times, and it just keeps growing back. It's so beautiful. I did repot this plant on a video with you guys, probably, I think it was like September of 2021. If I can find that video, I will link it above for you guys. But it is just a beautiful plant. I have 2 neon pothos, and my other one is really long. I'll have to insert a picture of what it looks like. But this one I have propagated a couple of times, but it still grows. It's so beautiful, and it does sit on my top shelf. It does get a lot of grow light and south-facing window light. And I recently just moved this plant there after I did my part 1 plant room makeover. So if you guys missed that video, I will link it above. This plant did get a little bit of neglect, but I started taking care of it again, and it's doing great. So this plant I've just been really loving this month. And I love that when it needs water, it starts drooping its leaves. I try to keep up on the watering. It's in a very large pot, so I probably water it like every 1.5 to 2 weeks. But it's doing really good, and I'm really happy with it. So that is my next plant here on my top 5 houseplants of September. This next plant I'm going to show you guys, I have just been loving this plant so much. I love looking at the leaves all the time. It is just so beautiful. And it is my variegated peace lily, or I believe it's called a Jessica peace lily. It is just so beautiful. And those leaves, this is the first new leaf that it put out for me. But just look how beautiful the coloring on that leaf, and just the variegation is just so cool. The next one that it put out is this one, and it doesn't have as much variegation, but it's still a very beautiful leaf. And then the other leaves, the ones that I got the plant with, they have like a ruffled effect to them, and I'm not sure why they look like that. But that's how, when I got it, that is what it looked like. And I thought it was beautiful when I bought it with those ruffled leaves, so it really doesn't bother me. But I'm just wondering if that's the way it's supposed to be, or I don't know. But I just love this plant so much. Just so pretty. So this plant also sits on my top shelf near the grow light, and it gets a lot of light up there, so I'm hoping the variegation will continue to be beautiful like this leaf and just be strong. But I just love this plant, and I'm so happy that I found it. I got this one at Whitfield Nursery probably in, I think it was last month. It was in August, I believe. I walked into the plant nursery and it was just sitting front and center, and I grabbed it and I knew it was coming home with me. It's just so gorgeous. And I think the plant was like $16.99. I think it's still in the nursery pot that I got it in. Yeah, $16.99. And that's the name of it. But it's just such a beautiful plant. I'm so happy with it. I do water this one at least once a week. I do make sure that the soil stays pretty moist, and I did fertilize this plant with some Osmocote. So I'm hoping that it gives me some more leaves, but I will definitely keep you guys updated on this plant because I just love it. It's just so gorgeous. So the next plant I'm going to show you, we bought together on a Home Depot shopping trip, and that is this little Hoya Gracelis. And I remember when I found this plant, I thought it was like a Hoya pubicalis splash, because that is what the leaves remind me of. But it says Hoya Gracelis or Hoya memoria, and I just love it. I think it's so pretty. I love these splashing or the modeling on the leaves. And this plant has been growing very well for me. It puts out new leaves all the time. It has some new leaves that are starting here, and I'm sure some will be starting there. But it's just such a beautiful plant. I love when it puts out new leaves. They're like a raspberry color, maybe like a burgundy maroon color. It's just beautiful. I just love this plant so much, and I can't wait to watch it grow. I do still have it in the little grower's pot that it came in, and it was $7.98 at Home Depot. But I found this cute little pot at Home, and I just thought it would be the perfect little pot to one day repot this Hoya in. But for right now, it's just sitting in there, and it's doing great. So this plant does sit on the second shelf of my IKEA plant shelf, and it does get a lot of grow light, so it really seems to be liking that. I did read somewhere that if you give this plant too much light, the leaves can yellow. So I've been keeping an eye on that, but so far it's been doing very well. And I can't wait until it flowers. I think it will be so beautiful. I will put a picture of what it looks like when it flowers on the screen. The flowers aren't that spectacular, but this plant is, and I think it would be so pretty with blooms on it. So that is my Hoya Gracelis. Okay, you guys, my last plant here on my top 5 houseplants of September is my Thai Constellation. So I was waiting for the day that this plant would put out a new leaf, and it finally did. I got this plant for Mother's Day, so about 4 months ago, and it just gave me a new leaf. So this leaf is just so beautiful. It's just gorgeous, and I love it. It's like the most perfect little thing I've ever seen. And I just love this plant. The only weird thing about this plant is it has this leaf that's like pointing up. And I'm not sure why it does that. I'm guessing that it's a lighting issue. It does sit right near my south-facing window. It does get pretty good light over there, and I do water this plant once a week. I keep a close eye on my watering because I don't want it to get root rot, because I know these plants are prone to root rot, but the roots look pretty good. They look really white, if you can see that in there. So I just love this plant so much. I'm so thankful to my husband for buying it for me because I really wanted it. And it's doing good so far. I did fertilize it because I did a repotting video with you guys on this plant, and I put some Osmocote fertilizer in there. And the new leaf looks like it's about to start a new leaf. There's like a little bump there. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a little bump right here. It's right there. And I've wanted this plant for so long, so I just cannot wait to watch it grow and get big, beautiful leaves. And I will definitely keep you guys updated on this plant because it is truly one of my favorite plants. So this is the last plant here on my top 5 houseplants of September. And now I'm going to show you guys one plant that has not been doing so great. And I know that I have shown you guys this plant before. I probably even did a sad plant of the month on this one, I'm not sure. But it is a sad plant, and it is my Cissus Discolor, if you can even tell. I don't know if I need to repot it and check out the roots. I'm not sure what. This plant just does not grow for me, and I knew that in the beginning because this is like the 3rd time that I've had this plant, but I just don't want to give up on it. It does have, I don't know what that is, if it's like new growth or maybe some little buds that are starting, if you can see that there. So I just don't want to give up on it. It is still in the huge nursery pot that it came in. I don't know, you guys. I don't know what to do with this plant. It sits close to the humidifier. It sits right under a grow light. I just don't know. Maybe I'm not watering it enough. maybe it just doesn't like me. I don't know. But this plant is my sad plant this month. If you guys have any advice for me on this plant, please leave it in the comments down below because I don't want this plant to die. I just want to see a new leaf on it. I did have some comments to put the plant outside, but in Arizona, it's just way too hot. If I put this plant outside, it would just crisp up and die. So I can't do that. But if you guys have any other advice for me on this plant, please leave it in the comments down below. Because as you can see right there, I don't know, is that a little leaf growing? Is it, I don't know what it is, but if you guys know, please let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, you guys, so those were my top 5 houseplants of September. If you guys liked the top 5 houseplants of the month, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more plant videos from me, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And I just want to thank everybody so much for watching. And until next time, guys, bye.